Amazon's on fire and you can watch it through the glass by Google, but make sure you don't have a heartbleed virus of your own. All that and more on Tech for Dummies. Welcome to Tech for Dummies, the show where, well, we give you tech advice for the dummies out there. I am one of your hosts, Dustin Tanner. Next to me today, like always, the hostess with the mostest is Darren Quick. How you doing today?
Good. Also, when we get back.
So before we go into the show, we had to reschedule this because what did you do to yourself playing basketball?
Oh, you have to tell the whole world.
I got to tell the whole world this story. This is the first time we've ever had to cancel a show due to injury.
I bruised my ribs, thank you, playing basketball last weekend down at UVM. I took a shoulder blade to the rib at full tilt, and it hurt for a couple days, for 2 weeks.
So the question that I really need to ask is, how does this affect the Miami Heat and LeBron James' legacy? We'll get into the LeBron talk as it's playoffs.
Okay.
But besides that, let's move into some tech news. We have a lot to talk about because we missed pretty much a month of a show, and we had last month's stuff, and then we have the stuff for the month of May. We're kind of like, we're in that little zone of we missed about 3 weeks. We haven't missed a whole month, but we missed a good amount of time. So a quick rundown of what we're going to talk about today in the tech section: Amazon Fire, Google Glass, the Heartbleed virus, and iOS 7.1 source code showing how Siri will be on the Apple TV. And we also have a lot for you today in the entertainment for dummies section, like Stephen Colbert taking over the Late Show, a few movie reviews, a game review, and a big deal that just came out between Amazon and HBO early, just 2 days ago, I think? A few days ago?
A few days ago.
So now, me being the dummy I am, I want to start out with the Heartbleed virus. I have heard a lot about it. I have heard bad things. What is it, Darren?
Well, the Heartbleed virus is basically a code that normally is supposed to protect you from people coming in and hacking your passwords, like on your bank account. When you go to a certain secured site, you have that little padlock, and it's supposed to stop people from getting onto it and taking your passwords, usernames, and everything. Well, the hackers have found a little loophole where if they send the same pulse that the padlock sends, that they can stay on long enough to find to get your username and passwords out of these secure sites, instead of turning them off like they're supposed to. After you log out, they're supposed to turn off, the pulse is supposed to turn off, but they don't anymore.
So I guess as a consumer, I've received emails I use a lot of things online. I bank online, I go to CCV, I use the portal, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. I probably have a password for it. Reddit, I'm huge on Reddit. We'll talk about that later. So as the general consumer, what do I need to do to make sure, they don't steal all my information?
Just simply change your password.
And that'll just solve all my problems?
Yeah.
And now what if I don't change my password? Are they still going to come for it, do you think?
Yeah, the weird thing about it is you'll never know you've been hacked until it's too late.
So you're saying I could have already been hacked?
Yeah, because like I said, they just keep, it's the same process as, it looks like a secure site, but it's not really. You don't know if it's a secure site or not. So they're telling people the best way to stop this is to change your password, and that's it.
Okay. So, but besides that, how long do you know how long this was going on before they caught it, or?
Don't know how long this was going on before they caught it, but they caught it pretty quickly, before it really got into a major problem.
So to pretty much sum up the Heartbleed virus, it is a virus that will steal your information, and the best way to stop yourself from getting hacked is by changing your password, is pretty much what you're saying.
Pretty much.
And there's this whole hoopla over it because Why was it such a big deal if it's just a simple change your password?
Because a lot of people, it's just anything big hoopla over any viruses anyways. But a lot of people are be more affected than they thought, affected by it than the last one was.
So that's pretty much your heartbleed virus. Now that we've gotten the important, the big bad news out of the way, let's talk about some of the fun stuff. We can move.
We can do Google Glass.
We can do Google Glass or Amazon Fire, but I think we'll start with Google Glass. So I'm sure you've heard this by now. I don't know how many people watch this show, and I don't know how many people have heard about this, but now the public can buy Google Glass. Everyone can be a glass hole now. That is the term. The FCC approves of it. It's okay. And I kind of find it interesting because, with Google Glass, you can watch people, and I find it creepy. It's really creepy. I
actually saw my very first glass up here in Vermont. Some guy.
Has it made its way to Vermont?
Yeah, some guy was wearing one in Hanford's about 2-3 months ago.
He must have been one of the testers. Now, my question is, what is the benefit of wearing Google Glass? I've heard countless stories of people who've gotten beat up because they've been wearing Google Glass.
Yeah, they don't want them in bars. They don't want them anywhere. But there's really not much of benefits of wearing us publicly, us the public. Though if you're a doctor, medical field, in maintenance, like building maintenance and stuff like that, you can easily picture like a blueprint or anything like that, extract pictures or files from somebody's medical history right there without carrying in a laptop. Also, if they have a great GPS on there, you can sit there and have the map right out there in front of right out in front of you. But it's just like I said, for us public Joe Blow off the street, I don't think it will be very popular. But if like I said, in the medical field, it might be in the maintenance field, or these construction workers and stuff like that. Might be a good idea, might be more popular among them.
So now that we've talked about Google Glass, let's move on to something that might be a lot more popular. Amazon Fire. Now, I don't know about you, but Netflix looks like it's a dumpster fire at this point.
Is that not
Amazon Fire, for those of you who don't know, I will pull up the tech specs for it, but it's pretty much just if Apple TV took some steroids, you would have Amazon Fire. You want to go into some more details, Darren?
To me, I think it's just, I agree with most of these critics, it's Me Tooism. Look at us, look at us. We got a new fire, we got this new nifty TV box that you can sit in front of your tube. Well, truthfully, you can get the same thing with Roku, Roku, Apple, Google Chrome. You get the same damn thing for half the price.
So,
but the only difference is you can play games on it. Big deal.
See, I don't have that opinion on it. I think it's the best. You have Roku, you have Apple TV, but with Amazon, and I think this goes back to something, we'll talk about this later, but Amazon Prime just got a bunch of HBO TV shows, and vice versa. They just made a little deal, and Amazon Prime is growing and growing and growing and growing. I like the idea of the Fire TV because you have Netflix, you have Amazon Prime, and you can have Hulu Plus. You can use Watch ESPN, you can use Showtime, and you have I feel like Apple TV wise, Apple TV gets kind of blown out of the water because Apple TV doesn't have a search bar yet. They don't have not a search bar, but a what's it called? Voice search. They don't have voice search yet, for the most part. Although and I'm trying to connect all the stories. I know I'm jumping the gun, but they all connect because iOS 7.1 source code kind of alludes to Apple TV using Siri, and I think that might be a response to the If you look at
It
the
is.
Amazon Fire TV ad, it'll be like voice search that actually works. That is a
Gary, if you've ever seen these commercials, it's got Gary Busey, and it's one of the best Gary Busey commercials
That is
I've
just
ever
the
seen.
voice search that actually works is just a giant middle finger to Apple TV. And I really think Amazon is, and we talked about this, was it Amazon or Google a few months ago we talked about expanding their business? I think it was, and we talked about Google before, but this extends Amazon's reach even further. They started with Prime, and Prime is amazing. And now you have the Fire TV, and it's getting bigger. And Amazon is now competing with the cable and satellite industry because, you know, for $99 and $79 a year, I could just wait 2 days to watch a show. I don't have, and I mean, I like satellite, but why do I need satellite? Because with the, get cable. If you live in this county, get cable because we're a public gas station. Anyone who lives in St. Albans, Sheldon, Highgate, or Swan, get Comcast. That's my plug of the day, Comcast. But anyone who doesn't live in those areas should get Amazon Fire TV because it really is, it's pretty cool. And with the WWE Network now, for only $9.99 a month, you have the free pay-per-views, you have, what am I missing now? What MLB TV you can also get? Like, I can watch everything that I need personally on an Amazon Fire TV. And anything else I can just pirate.
And now they got their own game. Well, I was going to hold off on this, but last month they released pictures of the rumored game console or game controller, and I went, yeah, maybe they're going to have to do a gaming controller after all.
And they have the Fire TV. It comes with a Fire TV. You can order it separate.
Yeah, it wasn't the gaming console. It was the Fire TV that we were eventually talking about.
Which automatically puts them in competition with Xbox, with PlayStation 4. Amazon made one device that is about yay big by yay that competes with Xbox,
about big
about the size of my about the size of my hard drive here. That is, and this device can compete with Apple TV. It can compete with cable. It can compete with satellite. It can name something it doesn't compete with. And that's the cool thing. Now, I'm not going to say all the kinks are worked out because with the first of every device, there's always some issues. But think about this in like 2 years. Think about
this in 5 years from now. This is what we're going to be watching TV on, guys. Satellite boxes and cable boxes.
Unless if you live in Sheldon, Swanton, Highgate, or St. Albans, you'll still be watching on Comcast because we need to have a show. So you kind of agree with the naysayers on this? Is that what I'm taking away from this segment?
Yeah, you can get exactly the same thing on Comcast, Google Comcast, and Apple TV, but yet I'm also with you because of the fact that there's more now you can do on Amazon Fire than you can do with every one of them. But right now it's so new at it, we don't know what's going to be like.
Right.
If it's going to be a big hit like Roku, Apple, and Google, or is it going to sit there and fizzle out like,
Apple TV.
Apple TV.
mean, did I say that out loud? I work in an Apple school. Apple TV is amazing. Sarcasm. I need a little sarcasm flag, Chris will mention. We'll make one of those for the next show.
Oh, yeah. We still got to make one for something else.
That's pretty much what we have for tech news. What else is there anything else you'd like for the tech aspect of the Tech for Dummies?
See here. What else did I want to talk about?
I mean, XP has been, that's dead and gone.
XP's been bye-bye. See you later. We have a moment of silence, please. Okay.
I'm not being silent. I don't like XP. No, I don't care.
XP was a pretty good operating system.
Hey, it lasted. And half of China is still using XP. Even though it's outdated, they're still using it because that's what they use for most of the stuff.
Actually, you still can use it. You just got to switch to the limited access so that you can't download anything new on it. That's all you got to do. The Comcast Time Warner merger, it looks like it's actually going to go through. So be prepared for that.
Somewhere. Also, wait. You hear that? That's the Dark Side theme playing somewhere. Where is that? I don't know where that is.
Also, hear about Avio or Avio?
No, I have not. What's up with that?
Avio is a little antenna that that you can put into your window or anything like that and get free stream live content over the cloud.
Really?
Yeah. It's popular in New York, Chicago. Reason why I don't say anything, because it's popular in New York, Chicago, California, and all that. But right now, they're going to the Supreme Court is because broadcast TV companies like broadcast companies like Comcast, Dish, DirecTV are suing them because the fact that they're stealing content off the air. They don't like the idea of people, because what you do is you can either have, it's kind of like a DVR service. You know, you can tape your shows and watch them later. Well, the part they don't like about it is you tape the shows. Who owns the show? Who owns content after you tape the show? Do you own the content, or do they own the content?
It all goes
Basically,
back
they
to
want the money.
It all goes back to pirating and the never-ending battle of pirating. But you touched upon something that is going to the Supreme Court. I want to mention something that has to relate to one last thing that just came to my mind. But about pirating, we all pirate. There's not a single person who's never downloaded something illegally. And if you haven't downloaded something illegally, good for you. Here's your gold star. This is my sarcasm face. Because it's really, stuff is expensive. A lot of stuff is expensive. Not even 99, $1.29 per song on iTunes. You know? Yeah. And it all goes back to who owns the content. And, you know, some people will say, well, if everyone's seeing your stuff, they'll buy more. But it's just a never-ending battle. And I don't think there's a solution for piracy except for making everything free. And that won't ever happen.
This goes through, this is also, now they're starting to go after, this could be the biggest thing about the cloud. This is not really about television, it's about the cloud service itself. People like Google Drive and people like Dropbox. Who owns that content? Do you own that content, or do Dropbox owns that content because it's on their servers?
And it's funny you mentioned Dropbox because we can't get through a show without talking about the NSA. That's impossible.
Not this show.
Condoleezza Rice, who was a, if you are familiar with world politics, was part of Bush's administration, which, you know, Patriot Act, I'm not going to get into here. We have Dick Day's show for that. Shotgun Express, Thursday nights. He's taking a month or two off, but it's a good show. Doing it live. I work the control room, call in. Anyway, I'm plugging everything today. Comcast, Shotgun, sports. Condoleezza Rice is now on the board of Dropbox, and people are starting to get worried that Dropbox is going to start looking into your box of stuff you dropped.
How nice.
I'm good with the terrible jokes today. So that's something that's a little sketchy when one of the people who was big on government surveillance is part of a cloud program. I don't like the idea of that at all, personally. I don't know what you think about that.
No, I don't like the idea of it at all, because I'm thinking once it's on the cloud to stay.
Yeah, and
it's your personal. That's the reason why it's on the cloud in the first place, because you don't want it being gone off your computer, so you put it into a Dropbox to save it, so that something does happen, you still have your personal private information someplace where you know it ain't gonna go away.
But like always, it always goes back to, if you saved it, the NSA has it. The NSA is watching you. That's
why you don't save those nice, lovely pictures of your wife at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Off the grid. Just off the grid. Everything off the grid. No, you live in a log cabin, go to the bathroom in an outhouse, bathe in a river. The NSA won't know who you are. And don't pay your taxes, because, you know, tax evasion is always a good idea. With that, moving on, we're going to move on.
With the GM.
We have two more things I actually thought of. Tesla and GM. Massive cobalt recalls. As I like to call my car now, the, let me call it Death Cobalt. GM has recalled a good amount of Cobalts and a bunch of other cars, Saturns, not Saturns, Pontiac G6s, because of a effect that, and this is the part which makes it tech news worthy, they could have fixed the effect before they started selling the car. It's killed about 20 people now, and when your car can just shut off
because of the computer inside of it,
and the ignition switch isn't long enough. And GM is coming under a lot of fire solely because of the fact that they knew about this before they started making and selling the Cobalts. And it would have cost 5 cents to make the change per car. So GM decided to save 5 cents, which wants to go, and now they're under so much fire. And a lot of other recalls have happened as well. Auto industry, I've been getting more into cars recently, and a lot more people have recalled. Nissan's had a recall. There have been a bunch of little recalls that have come because GM has taken so much heat because they slid it under the rug. And one other
what's the years?
2005 to 2010. They stopped making Cobalt after 2010, I want to say. So I have a 2007 two-door Chevy Cobalt, or as I like to call it, Death Bolt, the Death Cobalt. I always say it in that tone because I don't know, it could kill me today. Have fun with it. And that moves on to one other auto thing, Tesla.
Yeah,
now, Darren, what do you think about Tesla? Do you know what Tesla is?
Is that electric vehicle?
Teslas are the most amazing thing ever, and I've seen one before because it's funny. A few months ago, back in October, I want to say. I want to say October.
You got it.
Tesla had some cars in Vermont. They had an electric car show. There was an electric car show. There was electric cars, and one day on Church Street alone, I just stumbled upon it. I don't know how I stumbled upon it. It was just there. It was good luck. And they want to sell their cars, and states are starting to fight it because they're electric cars. And starting to fight. And they're not selling in showrooms, they're selling like direct from dealer. And that is pissing off the current business model. Okay, so Tesla is saying we don't need to sell from showrooms, we can just sell from our dealer. We can sell factory direct. And that is making the people in big auto angry.
It depends on how cheaper it is to factory direct versus dealer.
That's the thing, and that is
it's cheaper to do factory direct. I'd just say, yeah, factory direct it.
You see, Mind Sports, it's showrooming, which occurs when people shop in store and then purchase online. That's what Tesla is doing. They don't like that. The big auto industry does not like that, and that cuts out the middleman. But that's pretty much what we have for the tech portion of this. We still have entertainment to go. What is our...
I'll save the window 8 thing later.
Do we have a PSA today?
Yep, on to our PSA.
Be a fan of courage.
Be a fan of dignity.
Be a fan of pride.
Be a fan of confidence.
Be a fan of fun.
Be a fan of Special Olympics.
To support some of the most inspiring athletes you'll ever see, please visit SpecialOlympics.org, where you can volunteer, support, coach, or sign up to compete.
I'm a fan. Be a fan, too.
Welcome back. As always, be a fan, be a supporter. It's and volunteer for the Special Olympics Vermont, our local and state level. This time, also thank you for being down at UVM for our lovely basketball tournament. And we did get local coverage for the first time in several years. All 3 stations were on. We were on all 3 stations here in town. Also join us May 31st and the 2nd at UVM for our summer games. And take it away, Dustin.
So we're going to go into entertainment for dummies. And as we alluded to earlier in the show, Darren got hurt at the games. That's how he hurt his rib. How this affects the Miami Big Three, we'll report more on that later. But it was fun playing basketball, except for the rib.
That was great.
That's good. It's great. It's a great organization. It's a great cause, and like always, support your local causes. Whether it be, I just played in the Franklin Grand Isle United Way dodgeball tournament. You know, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. I don't want to try wrenches because I can't dodge a ball. So let's.
Obviously, your team lost.
Hey, we weren't the worst. We were the Browns, not the Lions. That one's for you, Mr. Halco. So that was really fun, and it's just all about supporting your community, whether it be Special Olympics, whether it be going to a food shelf, whether just support your community. So we are going to move into, I really want to get a kazoo like do entertainment for dummies. Got a lot. We have a lot. There's been some big news about a night show. There's been some. I went to a movie. I know, strange, right? And the thing I want to start in, because we've had the sports theme, is RBI baseball and its effects on the Miami Heat. No, just kidding. I'm dropping the Heat jokes now. So I am
a Heat fan.
I'm a Bobcats fan. I hate the Heat. So RBI baseball, Darren, was that around when you were younger? Because I don't remember it in my life, but they recently released a new edition of it. Now, to give a little backstory about this, for those of you who are my age, you know, hip with the times and young, don't laugh. I'm hip with the times, faux shizzle. Recently, we've only had really one set of baseball games, 2K Sports and MLB The Show. 2K did not renew their rights with MLB because they weren't making money on the game, so Major League Baseball was left without a model for the Xbox 360. So what they did was they rebooted RBI Baseball with those old graphics, and they released it on the PS3, Xbox 360, and I'm trying to see if I have it on my iOS device, Apple. They released it on Apple, which is really one of the coolest things ever. And I've played it a little bit on my device. It's on my iPhone, not my, not myself, my iPhone, not my iPad. And it's pretty cool. And what are your thoughts on this as someone who's played the original?
I think it'd be a pretty good, I haven't looked into it, but just looking at it, it looks like a pretty good upgrade from the original. It was like I said, when it first came out, when we first talked about this, it was back then it was the top of the line graphics, top of the line sports game back then. So it's nice to see it make it a comeback. Even though, yes, I am old.
So, and speaking, and that moves into our next topic. You know who else is old? David Letterman is old. And I am a Letterman fan. I've watched the show before. And he has announced that next year, I think it's next year, 2015. I still think we're in 2011. I forget the years. I'm not with the times. I'm hip with the culture, not with the times. He is retiring from his show. His show that he's held for, God knows, my whole lifetime, and then a few.
Since well, he's retiring after 30 years, so.
Since the dawn of the dinosaurs,
the
pretty
80s.
much. There were dinosaurs, and there was the Late Show with David Letterman, and he is stepping down. But that's not what's got me excited. You know what's got me excited? Mr. America himself, Stephen Colbert, is taking over the Late Show. And I am a huge Colbert fan. And when I heard that he was taking over David Letterman's spot, one, it made it so I get to see one of my favorite people on network TV, national TV meaning. He's on his show, The Colbert Report, is on Comedy Central at 11:30. And it's terrible because I don't have Comedy Central because I'm not paying for that. Ain't nobody got money for that. And I'm really excited because I get to see him on CBS. And Stephen Colbert, as people are talking about how his character will affect him, he's going to bring Stephen Colbert, not Colbert Report. It's two different characters, so I cannot wait till 2015 to see that. That'll be amazing. And it was really funny how it broke because he was rumored to win. He was rumored to be in the lead, and then like 2 days later, they're like, yeah, he signed it. Like there was no time, there was no debate. It was Letterman's retiring. Rumors are Colbert's a favorite. Colbert's replacing Letterman, which you don't see often. Really, the way and I think CBS is handling this much differently than the NBC Jay Leno debacle. How they had him move up till 10 o'clock. Then had Conan hosting, then kicked Conan out, then moved Jay back, and then have Fallon hosting. CBS, on the other hand, made a plan, committed to it, is going to stick with it. So I'm really interested to see how that works. Now, in other news about cable, HBO and Amazon Prime. Have you heard about this, or do you want to talk about this a little bit?
I've heard about this. Amazon makes a big move and snags older HBO shows, which means Amazon Prime has now got HBO Go, or the shows that you can get on HBO Go. And being an HBO Go fan, I love it.
I don't watch
Amazon.
it on HBO. But as somebody who has Prime, this might be a way to get me hooked into HBO shows, because I'll be able to watch some of them now. I'll be able to watch a little Game of Thrones.
Or as I call it, Game of Porn. Because it is. It just...
We were professional for the first 30 minutes of the show. We almost want to show professionality-wise, Chris. We're getting there.
I'll edit this part out. Game of X-rated
I've never seen Game of
content.
Thrones, so I don't know what it's about. I'm not in a position to talk about Game of Thrones. I watch my FX. That's all I watch. But, I like how it has to, I like the...
Thrones, not thorns.
I don't know the name of it.
Thorns,
Scorns.
Well,
Thorns,
if you've
Porns.
seen it, it's...
I don't watch it.
Like,
I don't know what I'm talking about here. I'm just...
It's like a Lord of the Ring meets...
Okay,
late
we
night
don't
TV.
go into details. This is a kid's show. Johnny, cover your ears. Johnny, keep your ears covered for the next 5 minutes. I'll tell you when to uncover your ears.
I'm done.
Okay, Johnny, you can uncover your ears. But I like, I think this will justify Amazon Prime costing $20 more a year.
Yeah.
Like, now we're starting to see what Amazon's Prime is starting to bring in, and it's like, whoa, okay, here, what do we got here? We got all of this, we got all that, we got yada, 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 yada. And
I'm just wondering if you still need a subscription to Amazon or HBO to get the content.
I feel like that we'll find out more about that later. This was just announced a few days ago, so we don't know anything as Chris chugs the rest of his coffee because he's had to deal with us for about 45 minutes now. I can see the gray hairs from the control room. But I like the I like it. It's a good thing. Do you have much more to say about that, or?
No.
So that's pretty much it with the Amazon. We're done talking about Amazon. Well, we have the drone. No, just kidding. So there have been a few things that
rumor.
I've stumbled upon. Now, is there anything that you would like to talk about, Darren?
Well, I'll leave it to you. I'll let you go on.
You want to leave it to me?
I'll leave it to you. I'll leave the last one. I'll be the last one.
Okay.
Other than that, the only thing I want to talk
Somebody
about
is
is Muppets.
calling me, and I don't know why anyone's calling me. I want to answer my phone on set, but I don't think that's professionality-wise important. So, Kotaku has put out a 12 best games for the iPad. And it's I'm not going to list all of them, but most of them are not games you've heard of. And it's really cool because if you have an iOS device, it's, there's games like Sword and Sorcery EP, Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft, XCOM, Enemy Unknown. These are games that you haven't heard about. And this is more recent because iPad games are getting better. They're getting better every day with the new iOSs that are coming out. So if you want to look up that, just go up to Kotaku.com, 12 best games for the iPad. It's an updated post. I just threw my pen. We're done with the pen for today. And it's pretty cool. So that's pretty much what I have for those games. And you wanted to talk about the Muppets again, right?
Yeah, I did go out and see the Muppet movie, and it was a pretty good movie if you like the first one, as in Muppets. movie. But if you're a Muppet fan like us, like me, it was a, yeah, okay, Disney, what you have done for me lately type of movie.
Yeah.
But if you're just getting into the series, it was a pretty good movie. I liked it. You'll love it.
So, what was your thoughts on that?
My thoughts is you can go. It'd be a good. It was a good movie to watch. Other than that,
So it was my mother who called me. I checked because it's those important things. Hi, Mom. I'm on TV. I'm a little busy right now. She won't see that because we don't have it at my house. But just for good measure. So a few things. I have a few more things. As far as entertainment goes, Spider-Man. Spider-Man's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2,
Oh, I like the new Spider-Mans, but
or as is actually Spider-Man what 5, 4, 5.
Spider-Man 5000. A new X-Men film is coming out soon, which looks really good. I will go see. There are not many movies. Excuse me. There are not many movies that I am going to go see on the first night out. This X-Men movie looks like one of those movies I'm going to go see on the first night out because it looks pretty sweet. I want to go see Divergent. Felt Hunger Games-y. It was a decent movie, long movie, good plot. I liked it. Good movie to bring your girlfriend to. I have a girlfriend. My mother is calling me again. I want to answer and be like, I'm on TV, but I can't. And that's pretty much it, what I have. I bought the South Park game Stick of Truth. Haven't opened it yet. Been too busy. And that's pretty much what we have for entertainment for dummies. Is there anything else you have for the rest of the show?
No, that's pretty much it for me.
So I think with that being said, I can just crumple up the paper and just toss it that way. This is our outro. We playing well here. We playing very well here. Would you like to sign yourself off, Darren?
Okay. Thanks for watching the show. As always, follow us on Tech4Dummies1 at blogger.com and WordPress.com. There, leave your comments and questions about the show. I'll leave the show notes there also. As always, watch previous episodes on YouTube. That's it.
And I am Dustin Tanner, whose mother keeps calling him, even though I'm an adult. And I am wishing you all have a good month. Enjoy the spring weather. Enjoy the potholes, and we'll see you next time on Tech for Dummies.